Hey everybody, I'm Joel, first YouTube video ever, so hopefully you dig it a lot. I'm here today to tell you and talk to you about the guitar part to Aerodynamic by Daft Punk. One of the coolest things about Daft Punk that I think really makes Daft Punk themselves is the secrecy with which they've approached a lot of their songwriting, like a lot of the construction of their music, a lot of the sampling of their music. And from that, and from what we've seen on YouTube, I think it's safe to assume that there's a lot of different opinions and interpretations on not only how to play it the best way, but the proper way as well, like getting the sound that they have. So something we would take into account before we get to the guitar side of things is that we're not really sure, and TUB Eric76 pointed this out in his video, whether or not we're dealing with a live or sequence synthesizer, a sample, or a down-tuned guitar that's sped up to fit the song. The pitch bend on the A major chord, that bend that I played initially through the chord progression, that's kind of a flag to me at least, and what he pointed out as well. And I heard that, and I thought the same thing as well, that we're not necessarily dealing with something that's like a normal guitar solo. It's sort of a clue to me, I guess, because it seems like something very unlikely that they could have made in like a normal take. But regardless of the bend and regardless of all this, it's still a lot of fun to mess around with and see what you can come up with. So now we're going to go on to the guitar part. Okay, a lot of people think that two-handed tapping is the best way to approach this lick. And I kind of think when you listen to the riff, you'll hear a lot of percussiveness, a lot of power, a lot of attack that I don't think reflects like a two-handed tapping sound. Which kind of, you get that smooth like legato sound from two-handed tapping. Still sounds awesome, but I don't think that it reflects exactly, well, again, we're not all, I don't know who's really sure about how they did it, but it sounds to me an awful lot like it's sort of a picking sound. And if it's a synth, that would make a lot of sense since you have an attack on each note. But at least when I A-B it, it kind of sounds like a guitar is, it sounds like a picking attack. So, that said, it's pretty tricky to think, how would you pick this? But it's actually not too bad. Those of you who are familiar with like 3-note per string stuff and, alternate picking in general, it's going to be way easier. So obviously you're not going to be able to go like down, down, down or like up, up, up like really quick. But this is going to be an alternate picking exercise basically. So here's the way that I do it. Unfortunately, I don't have any way of like really like getting notation or tab of this out there that well. But what I'm going to do is hopefully explain it good enough, do enough close-ups, let's see if it goes all right. Okay, so the first riff is going to be a B minor. Well, our chords, first of all, really quick, our chord's going to be B minor, A flat diminished, E minor. I do E minor 7 for kicks. Sounds kind of cool. And then A. So then what I do is I'm going to go basically by position. We're going to start on the 9th position, and I'm going to start on the 4th string. And I'm going to go down, up, down, up. If you repeat that enough times, you'll get the first arpeggio. A little sloppy, but it's cool. The next one is going to be your A flat diminished, and all you're going to do is move from the 9th position to the 11th position with the other two notes the same. Pretty simple. The next one is going to be a B minor, E minor. I'm sorry. That's right. So yeah, the third chord is going to be an E minor. It's going to be. And the neat thing about that is it's going to reflect the same position and pattern as the first chord, just moved up one string set. Pretty cool. And then the last chord is going to be our A major, and this is just an A major triad played from the 5th. And that's in 7th position. So you run them all together, and this is what it's going to sound like. Okay, the second half of that riff is going to be basically the same exact chords, just moved up an octave. And that can be a little bit tricky, especially up here where you basically have a 5 or 6 note stretch, fret stretch. but it's not too bad because your positioning is going to start on the 11th fret. So the frets start getting a little bit smaller, a little bit friendlier for you. So again, the first chord is going to be our B minor inversion. Then to our A flat diminished. And then we're going to go to our E minor. And then you guys remember, since that B string always throws us for a loop for guitar players, you're going to have to make it reflect that change. So it's not going to be as simple as this one. It's going to be like this. And then, so just remember, our positioning is going to be a little bit different for this second half. And then the very last riff is going to be... And there's our A major. Now, I'm going to try to play it once without wah, so you can just hear the riff just clean. I'll start it slow once, and then I'll do it again fast. And then I want to show you what a wah pedal can do, because it basically acts like a filter. And they filter like quite a bit on the original track. So here we go. I'll try it slow at first, and I'll move it up, move a little bit faster. A little bit quicker. Sounds pretty cool. And again, that reflects everything I just said. A very, very good thing would be to do is just to practice going down on one string and then just up, down, up on another string. So you could be like, and you can even palm mute it just to kind of get like a crisper sound. Pretty cool method for practicing what your right hand is going to have to do. Now the other thing I was going to say just to finish up is that your wah pedal is your friend in this lick because they filter like crazy on this song. You can always hear that kind of like kind of sound. Daft Punk loves it, and it's kind of cool. Like a wah is gonna do almost the job that the filters they use are gonna they're gonna have. You could probably have like a lot of fun like putting effects on top of all this. But you get into these sort of like frequencies and like harmonics in there that sort of start melting together, and it sounds really wild. So then you can kind of get that authentic Daft Punk sound. It sounds like this. Cool. So yeah, I hope that made sense. I hope you have fun with it. Again, this isn't really necessarily like the way you have to do it, but it's a way that I thought people would enjoy. So if you have any questions, you can email me. Hopefully I'll put up my email. Other than that, have a blast. Thank you.